Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Lean and I am a Sims 4 builder and I play a few other games but mostly build in The Sims. So welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a speed build of the house from the Polar Express. For those of you who celebrate Christmas and love watching Christmas movies, I'm sure that this was one of your childhood favorites or still is one of your favorite Christmas movies. So basically I am building the main character's house from this movie. Technically he is considered, I guess he's called Hero Boy, so this is called Hero Boy's house. I tried looking it up on like Wikipedia and stuff, and it was basically called Hero Boy's house. So here it is. I tried my best to recreate it as close as possible to whatever screenshots I could find and whatever video footage I actually had from the movie. So the exterior, I got the overall shape correct on the front side. I did add that little bump out on the second story on the back side just to give a little extra space on the second floor, because with the way I had to do the roofing on this house, there was really not a lot of space in the upstairs. And you'll see once you kind of see how small Hero Boy's room is on the upstairs floor. It's a lot smaller than what it is in the movie, but because of how we can build in The Sims with the roofing, I just really couldn't make it any bigger without the front of the house looking like ginormous and huge and ugly. So I made it proportional from the outside so that the roof would look good and the windows would look good from the outside. But once you get to the upstairs in his room, it's only 3 tiles wide and it's more long than it is wide. So you'll see there's some differences there from the film, but I tried my best to recreate it as close as possible. But you guys know that when I recreate houses from movies and TV shows, it's very hard to get them completely accurate because we don't have like a full view of the entire house and all of the rooms connected. So the best I could do was to look at the intro of the Polar Express and look at the final like last scene of the Polar Express to kind of piece together some parts of the house, and the rest of it I kind of had to make up for my imagination how I think it would look in comparison to houses in real life, and how I think the layout would really work best with the family. So the front of the house is exactly the same as it shows in the movie, and you know in the Polar Express most of the house that we see is from the outside. When the Polar Express train pulls up at the front, you really only see the front of the house and the snowman in the front yard. So the only other times that we see the inside of the house is when, like right in the beginning, when Hero Boy's in his room and he thinks he hears Santa Claus when he doesn't. It's just his parents. We see his room, and then we see a small glimpse of the hallway into his sister's bedroom. So best I could do with that in this build is I had to have his sister's room across the hall a little bit further up. So if you were looking out of his door in this build, you wouldn't really be able to see directly into her room like you can in the film, but it's the best layout that I could fit upstairs, especially with the way I had to do the staircase. But his room is up there and his sister's room is up there, and then I also created an extra bedroom upstairs as a nursery. You could change it into an office if you wanted to. There was just enough space up there to have an extra room and not just to make it a bathroom. It was a little too big to be a bathroom, so I just made it into a nursery since we don't know a whole lot about the parents and like their backstory from the film. So now we have moved on to kind of creating the floor plan for the inside. So in the, I guess it's the end of the film, we can kind of see a bit into the living room and that front hallway where the front door is. So we know that there is 2 archways from the main hallway. The first one on the right goes into the living room, and then the one on the left goes into the dining room. So I have kind of set it up, and you'll see me change this around a little bit, but I've set it up where we've got the living room and the dining room in the front of the house. Then the entryway from the front door is just kind of the main entry. It's where we have the staircase, and then as you go through the dining room to the back of the house, that's where we have the kitchen. And then wrapping around the back side of the house behind the living room, we end up having a laundry room, the one single bathroom in the whole house, and then the parents' bedroom. So I only fit 1 bathroom in this house. I know I could have fit another one, but I felt like it was the best layout that I could come up with. That still was pretty realistic, so that's just kind of what I did. Also, if you are an avid fan of the Polar Express and you watch it every single year as your choice of a holiday movie, then you probably know everything about all the little things inside this house. So don't call me out in the comments, because I changed it at the end, but I did put the tree in the wrong place to begin with, and then I originally didn't know what was on that side wall by the Christmas tree, so I just added almost like a ledge and a few windows. Once I saw the final, or not the final scene, I guess it was still in the intro of the movie. I watched through a video on YouTube that had the intro of the movie, and I saw that there was actually a fireplace on that wall. So I ended up changing that towards like the middle to the end of this video. So don't come at me. I fixed it. But you'll see eventually. Just like ignore that wall, because I know it's not gonna look right and it's gonna bug you guys. But I did fix it. And then the other thing is the staircase in the movie is actually an L staircase. So in the film, it goes up the left side of the wall where the dining room is, and then it turns right and goes up. It finishes up to the right. With the way the layout of the house is, I couldn't really fit in an L-case stair shape because of how the roofing was, and the upstairs hallway was only 3 tiles wide. So I had to do it just a normal shaped staircase going up. It was the best I could do, so I know it's not accurate, but it's all that I could fit in there. So now you'll see that I am kind of placing decorations around the living room. It's a pretty wide living room, I will say, and it's a very awkward size, but I think I filled it in okay. And like I said, eventually I end up moving the tree to the left side of the living room where it should be, and then I delete those windows and those decorations on the right and end up adding in a fireplace. So here in the entryway, the only way I saw this front room was actually from I think it was like a painting or from the original picture book, but it was Hero Boy standing in the front door looking outside at the train, I think as it was leaving. So the only way I could get an idea for what to put in the front living room was from that one picture, and I noticed I could see the shape of the front door, which I couldn't get completely accurate, so I ended up picking a door that had some windows on it. And then we saw that there's like a rug and then a small side table next to the door, I mean. So I added a few pictures in there, and then I added like a hallway table by the stairs, and then I just kind of left it pretty open because I didn't want to block any space, and I'm sure the entryway isn't actually that wide in the movie, but it's how I was able to make it look best from the exterior of the house. So I'm trying to figure out the layout of the upstairs. Again, it's very small and very tight. So Hero Boy's room is very thin up there. There's not a lot of space, but I tried to keep it similar to what it looked like in the movie. And then with the dining room in here, it's a pretty big dining room, so I was able to fit in like a full-sized fancy dining table, I guess. And I kind of wanted to use it as if it was decorated for Christmas, because I feel like this family is very festive with their Christmas decorations on the interior, but they just don't like to put a lot of effort on the exterior, probably because they just don't have time. So I added some decorations on the inside just to make it kind of festive throughout, because I know in the movie the exterior isn't decorated with any lights or anything, but I wanted to keep that kind of going through the inside of the house. So I added some decorations on the table, and then right here is going to be our kitchen. So the kitchen is a very awkward shape because I've got those 2 windows on the side that I didn't want the counters to cover. So I ended up creating kind of like a half alley kitchen. I did like a huge island in the center with the stove, and then I did the oven on the other side with the sink. And then on this right side where we have the little indent by the stairs, I just added in a counter and a fridge, and then the microwave ends up going over there as well. I think this layout actually fits the best. I think if I did any other layout as the kitchen, it would have been like really awkward, especially because then I would have had to change the windows so that they didn't go almost all the way to the floor, and then that would just look weird from the outside of the house. So I think this worked the best, and I'm actually thinking about doing a video series of like a how-to build series, so that I can kind of help you guys learn how to build a little bit better in The Sims. And then one of the main videos I really wanted to do and focus on was how to build kitchens, because kitchen layouts can be really awkward sometimes if you're building in a house that has a really weird layout, or the kitchen space isn't the best. So if you guys want me to do like a video series and have one of those videos being how to make a kitchen look good, like how to lay out a kitchen, let me know in the comments, because I think that's something that I really want to do. And if you guys are into it, then I'll definitely make that video into a whole build series. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. But now I'm just going to keep talking about the build a little bit more. So I did have to shift everything over because I wanted to fit in a back door, and I wanted it to be kind of even between the counters and the rest of the hallway here. So I also added in that really cute little coat rack hook skis thing from Snowy Escape. It's really cute, and I think it definitely fits this style of house, and especially because it's snowing, or it will be snowing when I show you guys the screenshots. It just kind of fits the whole vibe, you know, the family vibe. So here I am, I'm just adding a few little Christmas decorations around the kitchen, just so that it's not so boring and old looking, because whenever I use these counters, these like dark and light brown counters, it just looks so dated to me. I know this house is supposed to be on the older side, so it's not going to be modern, but I just wanted to decorate up the kitchen a little bit just so it didn't look so bleh, you know? So just adding in a few more things in the kitchen, and in the movie we never actually see the kitchen or really any other part of the house besides Hero Boy's bedroom and the like living room and entryway. So this is the point where I kind of had to get creative and decorate how I think it would look. So I added in some green tile because it seems like this family is a fan of green, by like the curtain colors that are in every single room. And then I did cut out me doing the laundry room and the bathroom because they're not very interesting. But you can see right over here on the right, I've got the bathroom, and then the laundry room is right next to it. And then now I'm doing the parents' room. So I kept the parents' room on the first floor because honestly it just wasn't going to fit upstairs. We aren't sure of where the parents' bedroom is in the house from the film, but I felt like the back side of the house is kind of a good spot for it. Since it's away from the living room and the kitchen area, you kind of have to walk around through the back of the house to get there, but it also has access to the bathroom, so I think it's a good spot. And I also tried to keep the layout looking a little more spacious in there, because it's again, this bedroom is very long versus wide, so I wanted to make sure there was space to get around the bed and to get to the dresser without everything being too cramped. So that's why I moved the bed from that back wall to the side wall instead. I felt like it kind of fit the layout a little bit better and left a little bit more space. So here in a minute, I think we're about to start furnishing the upstairs. We've kind of done the whole ground floor, and I think it all looks pretty good and as close to accurate as possible. But once we get to the upstairs, I kind of had to use my imagination again, except for Hero Boy's room. I kind of had all of the images and videos to go off of to kind of create the vibe in his room. But again, since it was so much smaller than it is in the film, it's not completely accurate. So in the film, you know that it's a little bit wider than this. I'm pretty sure he has like a full double bed, and he's got enough space where if he puts it on that side wall where I end up putting the bed, there's still space to walk around it on the front side. Since I could only make this room about 3 wide, there's no space to actually walk around the bed, but there's nothing really by the window that he needs access to, so I kept it on that wall just to keep it accurate with the layout. But again, it's just not as wide. The only thing that I put by the window that he would need to get to is some like toys that I put on the floor. So nothing that's really needed for gameplay. But technically, in the movie, the bedroom door is on the back wall where I just put that bookshelf. And when he looks out his bedroom door to see his sister's room is like right across the hall from him. So technically, if the door was on that back wall, her room would be the room right next to his, where I actually ended up making the nursery. But since I didn't have enough space to put a whole hallway there plus a bedroom, I just ended up putting his door on the left by the stairs, and then her room is down across the hall on the other side of the stairs. So this is the best layout I can do. I know it's not accurate, but if you guys find a better way of doing the layout of this house without the exterior looking ginormous and just too wide, let me know and put your builds on the gallery so I can find them. If you put them under the hashtag Polar Express, I'm sure I'll be able to take a look at it. There is not really any builds up there for the Polar Express, so I was actually really surprised when I put this one on the gallery that there was only like 1 or 2 other houses that were built. So if you guys are into it, you should definitely try building this house the way you want to build it, and then I can take a look at them on the gallery, so let me know. So we did Hero Boy's room. The only things that were really in his room were like his dresser, a bookshelf, and a desk. Obviously, since the room wasn't that wide, I couldn't fit everything in there separately the way they were supposed to, but I did fit them in somehow. So we've got the bookshelf attached to the desk, and then the dresser is over there as well. So here in the hallway, I just kind of kept it simple. I just did like a small hallway table, a rug, and then we did like a standing clock. And now I'm getting to the point where I am fixing the living room and making it look the way it's supposed to with a fireplace. So don't come at me. I fixed it. Here it is. And then after we do this living room, I believe we are going to move up and do the sister's bedroom. So I did add this little tiny train around the tree because I remember specifically in the movie when they're opening gifts, like the opening scene is you watch the train like go around the tree and run into that present box that they didn't even know was back there. So I added in the little train. It's the same pieces that I did to make the Polar Express in the front of the house, just, you know, tiny the way they're supposed to be. And I thought it turned out really cute. So now that we've got the fireplace in here in the living room, it looks 10 times better than what I had done. So you're welcome for that. If I had left it the way it was, I definitely would have been like, this is as best as I could do, and it's definitely not right. But I'm happy that I found that scene where I could see what was on that back wall. So it's all fixed for you guys, and it looks way better. I'm also unsure of when this movie technically takes place. I'm assuming it's in like the 80s or the 90s or something. So that's why I just put in a small little box TV, because it definitely wasn't present day, modern day, like early 2000s. Just based on the style of the house, it seemed like it was a little bit older. But here we are doing the sister's bedroom, and from the glimpse that we could get into her room from the film, we could see that she technically has a canopy bed, but the canopy bed we have is from Seasons, and it just looks too modern and not as old styled as her bed looks. So I just did the fancier looking bed from Discovery University, and then I just put some little curtains on the wall behind it, just to give that vibe that it's supposed to be a canopy bed. And really the only thing we can see into her room is her bed and the curtains on her windows, her side table with the lamp on it, and then she does have like a teddy bear on the bed, but I just put it next to the bed so that it was still in there. So now we are adding in the final bedroom, which is the nursery. I'm pretty sure there was not this extra bedroom upstairs. The way the house was laid out, it was probably just their 2 bedrooms and maybe a bathroom. But I think this layout works best with foot traffic upstairs, and then that way if you do want to play in this house and you don't necessarily want it to be a Polar Express house, you have an extra bedroom or like an extra office space or something, like a skill room that you can use upstairs that is still accessible to your Sims. So we are getting to the end of the video now. I will let you guys enjoy these screenshots, and I am still working on a few more holiday type videos, but if I don't get any of those out, happy holidays to you all. I hope you enjoy this December and the time with your families. Thank you all for watching today's video. If you like the video, give it a little like, and if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, you should subscribe so that you can see all these other Sims 4 build videos that I'm planning on doing. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your afternoon. I will see you all next time. Bye guys.